Hey guys, Skyforce95 here, and today I'll be showing you how to transfer your data from one 3DS to another. Let's say you got a new 3DS and you want to transfer all your downloaded content over. So this is the fastest way if you have a lot of stuff like I do. If you saw my What's on my 3DS video that I did the end of last year, you see how many downloaded games and other software that I have on my system. So if I were to do the wireless transfer, then that would take a million years. So this is definitely the fastest way to do it. I was able to do the whole process within half an hour. So for this process, you'll need, of course, your old 3DS that you want to transfer from, and your new 3DS that you want to transfer to, a 0 Phillips screwdriver if any of your 3DSs are the new 3DS, which uses the micro SD card embedded in the back of the system, a micro SD card with an adapter, and of course a computer to transfer and save data. Either a Mac or PC would do. So firstly, the setup process. I always recommend you back up your data in case something horribly goes wrong. If you do follow my video step by step, it should be fine, but just in case, I always recommend you back up your current data. So go ahead and take out the SD card from your original 3DS and go ahead and back it up onto your computer. And at this time, I would recommend, if you don't already have a micro SD card, to go ahead and transfer your data from your large size SD card to a micro SD card with an adapter and put that back into your original 3DS. That way you're essentially taking up the most time right here in the setup process that is pretty safe than possibly messing up down the road. So go ahead, and if you haven't already, transfer all your data from your first 3DS onto a micro SD card with an adapter so you can fit it back into your original 3DS. And then for your new 3DS, and actually also for your old 3DS, you want to make sure that it's up to date. So check to make sure that the software has the latest firmware, and you can do that in the settings. And now the final step in preparation before the initiation transfer process is to make sure that the new 3DS that you'll be transferring to does not have a network ID account on it. If it does, you need to basically reset it to factory settings so that it wouldn't have it. And hopefully you're doing this transfer process because you just got a brand new 3DS, so you shouldn't have any kind of software downloaded on there, so you shouldn't be losing any data. But if you are, make sure you always back that up. Again, if you need to clear it because you accidentally created a new network ID account on there already, go to the settings and go ahead and reset it to factory settings. Once you reset it to factory settings, it's going to ask you to do another setup process as you would with a new 3DS. You just need to set up the language, the time, date, everything, stuff like that. And also you definitely need to set up the Wi-Fi because you will have to do a transfer initiation through Wi-Fi so that Nintendo can verify the transfer. But then other than that, we are now ready to begin the transfer process. So to initiate the system transfer process, you want to head over to settings on both of your systems. Go ahead and press on other settings tab and click on the arrow to the right until you see the system transfer button and press that. And then select Nintendo 3DS for the type of system transfer. Press agree, next, and then on your original 3DS you want to select send from this system, and on the new one you want to select receive from Nintendo 3DS. It will then take a few seconds to think, and then on your original 3DS it's going to ask you to sign in to your network ID, so go ahead and enter your password for that. After a successful sign-in, you can go ahead and select your new 3DS ID name. In this case, I call this Skyforce95, and confirm the transfer on your new 3DS. And now you're going to control the rest of the setup process on your original 3DS. So you can read through all the text here. You can pause. Of course, I'm going to skim through this really quickly. You can see this on your own. But basically, the takeaway here is that you can't initiate another transfer process until another 7 days. So that way you can't keep on switching back and forth. And I'm pretty sure most people won't want to go through this long process that many times anyway. And throughout the setup process, there's going to be a lot of warning messages. They want to warn you that you want to make sure you don't cut off the connection at any point, don't cut off the communication, don't cut off the Wi-Fi, etc. Don't turn off your systems, make sure there's no data lost. And of course, it also warns you that any data on your new 3DS will be completely erased, so make sure you back up your stuff like I said earlier. And now you can go ahead and press the transfer button. Afterwards, you'll be presented with the 3 possible transfer options. Of course, we're going to be doing number 3, which is PC transfer, but the other 2 are wireless transfer. So the first one is to directly use the internet to transfer everything over from your original 3DS to your new 3DS. Then the second option is to only transfer important settings and files over to your new 3DS. That's for the case when your new 3DS's SD card capacity is smaller than that of the original. That way you can just transfer over the important stuff, and then when you upgrade your SD card capacity on your new 3DS, then you can re-download every software from the eShop, which depending on how many software you had already downloaded could take an extensive amount of time. So that's why we're doing the PC transfer one. So we just need to click through a few more next. You have to read through a little bit more text if you really wanted to. It's just a lot more warnings on to make sure that you absolutely want to do this transfer process. Press next a few more times, and then finally you'll see a blue button that says move, and then that will finally initiate the transfer process. So what your two systems are doing right now is basically transferring the license from your old 3DS to the new one so that you can have all the software function properly on your new 3DS. So this may take a little while, but it's not like you're transferring all your content over, because all of your stuff should already still be on the SD card. But since your devices are using the wireless feature, this might drain your battery much faster, so this is probably a good time to plug in your systems if you have to. Once the software transfer is complete, after you press the OK button, the original 3DS will restart and it will look like a brand new system. And then on your new 3DS, it will have several instructions for you to let you know that you want to delete all the data off your SD card on the new 3DS and then transfer all the data from your old 3DS to an SD card to put into your new 3DS, which sounds really confusing, right? Which is why I told you guys to first get a micro SD card in the setup process. That way this part is actually really simple. All you have to do is power down both systems, remove the SD card from your original 3DS, go ahead, take it out of the full-size adapter. Now it's a micro SD card, right? Now you just have to put this micro SD card into the new 3DS. And I assume the one that you're transferring to is a new 3DS, which is why you need to start using that Phillips Zero screwdriver to open up the back, pop off the cover, and then you want to replace the current SD card in your new 3DS with the one from your old one. You just slip that in, put the back cover back on, and then go ahead and power on your new 3DS. And if you follow my steps exactly, you should see a very familiar home screen with all your software in its original location as it was on your previous 3DS. And everything should be able to open and function as properly, and all the data should all be there. And just to prove that it's working properly, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Link Between Worlds game right here. And as you can see, my two save files are right there and ready to roll. So that concludes this step-by-step process on how to transfer data from one 3DS to another using a PC, which I think is the most efficient way to do so. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, and make sure to subscribe to my channel Skyforce95 if you haven't already to get more content like this. Or if you're watching this on Amazon, head over to my channel URL right here, or just search it up on YouTube Skyforce95. There you'll see a bunch of my product reviews and unboxings. Feel free to browse, or if you want to search for something specific, just hit that search field. That'll do it for this video. This is Skyforce95. Thanks for watching.